So, good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to focus on posture a little bit more. And you may have received, or you may have a little bit of insight from the email I sent. I'd like to kind of focus on that specific kind of posture. I think we all know it. So don't get too hung up on numbers, please. But I think it's quite obvious what the trend is saying. So if we are upright, even if the head, which balances on top of our spine or neck, on its own actually weighs about 5 kilograms, which is as heavy as a bowling ball. So, and with mobile phone, and even when we just sit there reading books, even on laptops, anything, and we're tilting the head forward, the head actually feels heavier and it puts strain on the neck muscles. So over time, and you see that thing, the gentleman here, so it really affects posture. So I think it drives it home when we actually see it. So if you have your mobile phone, that area, so even if you just bring the gaze down, so that area, the neck area becomes overstretched. And over time, if it's done frequently, we're even tilting forward. So in that tilting forward, that rounding, that hunching has impact structurally, physiologically, and also mentally. So structurally, you see that the skeletal shape actually changes. Physiologically, it impacts breathing. So you can just perhaps give it a try. Try to be really upright, shoulders, draw the shoulders back, and breathe. So kind of just your normal breath. Really make an effort to open up the chest, open the shoulders. And then whether you're standing or sitting, so the moment you just let the shoulders collapse and you're tilting forward, try to breathe in a kind of similar fashion. It is restricted, and the moment breathing is restricted, the body is almost deprived of oxygen, of that nourishment. And also mentally, it impacts, that posture impacts us. We're literally closing down. We're losing self-confidence. We're losing that kind of that fire in us as we are just closing in. So the heart literally closes in. So we are going to look at some practices today to offset that hunching, training a little bit the neck and the upper area. So because that area becomes quite weak, quite tight, and that the back area becomes actually quite weak because the muscles haven't got the strength to keep us upright. Lovely. So take a blanket, please. So, and perhaps fold it in a way that's as wide as your hand and probably a little bit longer. So it's good to have a little bit more of length. And bring it onto your yoga mat, please. So kind of in the center of your yoga mat. And have a little bit more space up here. So, and as we get settled, so even if it's just a tiny little bit of height, so from the tailbone, where the tailbone starts, then slowly release over that blanket. So your spine is literally resting on that blanket. Take that remaining overhang, so to say, and kind of just bring it underneath your neck. So your neck is nice and supported. Avoid having the head tilting forward. So the neck is still in line with your spine. Just you're filling that gap where your head touches the ground and your shoulders with just a little bit of padding. So you make it feel really supported. So the head is nicely and supported. So it doesn't matter how much blanket is still visible here. So just it gives you enough cushioning for the neck, for your head. So a couple of options for your legs. You can keep your knees bent, or you can stretch your legs out, whatever feels most appropriate. You can always come back and change halfway through. Bring your arms up and overhead. So you can bend your elbows and bring your arms in a position where everything rests on the floor. If it feels more appropriate doing T-shape, so the arms are out to the side, then feel free to do so. Otherwise, some sort of slight angle, cactus arms type of position. And once you found your setup, we're going to be here for a few, probably took for 2 to 3 minutes to start with. So allowing the body just to settle, allowing the front body to stretch, to open slightly, and using kind of that the weight of your arms just to stretch out, just to spread out, to release maybe anything of that tension through the chest, through the upper back. Eyes can be closed, so you can have a soft gaze. And begin to bring deeper breaths into your lungs, into your whole front body. So breathing in through your nose and exhale, actually sighing it out. Take a few deep inhales through your nose, exhaling it out through a wide mouth. Notice what's happening with the front body. So it might feel a bit of a sensation of the belly button softening. 2 more breaths as you bring that oxygen, that nourishment into your lungs, into the front body. Exhaling, softening. So even though the blanket is only folded at a small height, the weight of your body, the weight of your spine still releases the shoulders, the upper back, and with your arms out to the sides, or perhaps T-shape, perhaps in cactus arms, it brings a different quality into the breathing process, as well as into the skeletal muscular structure. So just stay here for a few more moments, perhaps enjoying that slight lift, that stretch through the front body from your collarbones all the way maybe towards the belly button, to the pelvic floor. You can experiment by bringing deeper breaths into the body and then slowly softening. At any point if your arms feel uncomfortable, adjust them, please. Because it's amazing how much gravity actually has an influence of just resting on the body, just resting on the floor. Stay for perhaps 5 more breaths. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose or through your mouth. So that slight elevation already taps into that parasympathetic nervous system. So the spine feels supported, the spine feels nourished, while the shoulder blades have that opportunity to release, and the chest muscles also begin to release. So it's oftentimes less is more, especially when we are now approaching the winter months. So once you finish your 5 breaths, perhaps bring slow movement back into the body. Maybe if you had your eyes closed, open your eyes, bring your arms down towards the earth. So palms facing down, your arms maybe resting alongside your bottom. And begin to slowly roll your neck, roll your head from side to side. So keep that blanket where it is, feeling that support. Some of you may think, oh, I actually could stay like this for a lot longer. So if you have your legs stretched out, please begin to bend your knees, placing both feet into the earth, so the knees point upwards. So bring movement into the chest, into the lungs on the next inhale. Bring that head back to stillness. Bring your arms up and over. Your palms face each other. So the thumbs potentially make that contact with the floor first. Lengthening here, it's taking a deep inhale. Maybe the thumbs make contact with the earth. Exhale, slowly bring the arms down. Palms continue to face each other. Inhale, reach the arms up and over. Visualizing you're literally bringing the breath up into the tops of your lungs. Exhale, slowly bring your arms back down. So your arms really help to move, to open, but just to mobilize the rib cage, to soften those muscles, to stretch those muscles gently. Exhaling, slowly bring your arms down. Lovely. One more time. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, slowly bring your arms down. Lovely. Bring your arms up overhead. Turn your palms up. So your palms look up towards the ceiling. Let your arms hover over the earth, maybe a few inches. Bend your elbows. So you move your arms into cactus shapes and draw your elbows towards your rib cage. And inhale, lengthening, stretching the arms overhead. So we are keeping that hovering movement. Exhale, draw your elbows towards your rib cage. And inhale, lengthening. So the arms pretty much stay in the same plane. So we are keeping the arms parallel. So there's a slight engagement of the shoulder blades, almost kind of floor angels with cactus arms. So your arms hover. As you inhale, you bring the arms up overhead. As you exhale, you let your elbows float towards the rib cage. Take two more here. Inhale, lengthening. And exhale, bring the elbows down towards the rib cage. Last one here. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, slowly bring the elbows towards your rib cage. The last one, hold the elbows towards the rib cage for a little bit longer. But continue to breathe. Good. And then slowly release the arms. Bring your arms into any position. Maybe even just wiggle them out, shake them out. So it doesn't seem a lot, but we are because of that almost parallel movement of our arms to the floor, it mobilizes muscles we haven't really used before, and we are still stretching the skeletal structure out. From here, bring both arms up towards the ceiling. Palms face each other, so the fingertips point up. And begin to reach up, so you're lifting that right shoulder blade off the floor. Reach, 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 and then slowly bring the shoulder blade down. So you're releasing the shoulder down. Left arm reaches up, reach, reach, reach. So you may even find yourself as if you're tilting over a little bit, and then draw the left shoulder down. So alternate here, as if you reach for something that's high up towards the ceiling, on the ceiling. Exhale, let the shoulder drop down. So alternate here, reach, reach, reach. So we are stretching. And then lower. Do one more on each side as you reach. So it's natural that the opposite arm that doesn't do anything almost goes in the opposite direction. Reach and then lower. And then bring your arms down again. Give them maybe a bit of a shake. So shaking out your upper arms, your forearms, maybe even circling your wrists. So maybe opening and closing your fists. Lovely. So from here, slowly roll onto one side, perhaps the right side. So you're rolling off the blanket. Remove that blanket from underneath your spine, please. And then roll back onto your back. So we are now flat on the earth, and hug both knees towards your chest. So just rocking here gently from side to side. You can make smaller circles on your pelvis. You can perhaps even curl together like a little ball. So bring your chest, your shoulders, your head off the floor towards your nose, towards your knees. And then slowly release. Good. Bringing both legs up towards the ceiling. Let them shake here, a bit of a shake. Good. And then begin to cycle. So hands can be wherever they feel comfortable. Cycle your legs, so we are just increasing blood circulation through the body. If it feels uncomfortable, you can perhaps bring both hands underneath your pelvis. So you may have a little bit more support, as if you're lying on your fists, on your forearms, cycling here. And then cycle backwards. So go in the opposite direction. So again, it looks easy, but you might feel your legs actually feel quite heavy. Lovely. Oh. And then slowly give your legs a bit more of a shake, 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 and bring your feet down. Cool. Take the feet to the outside edges of your mat. Arms can be out to the sides, T-shape, palms facing up, and windscreen wrap your legs from side to side. So we're bringing movement into the lower part of the body, stretching the side, the waist. Maybe you may feel the sensation all the way to your rib cage, perhaps just any other areas. So be mindful, also slow down that movement. So from that normal speed, from the normal pace, to perhaps take it, tune it down a notch. And let your head move in the opposite direction if it feels okay. So knees to the right, head gazes, or your head turns to the left. That's a gentle way to wake up different areas in your spine. So the upper part of your spine, where the neck almost meets your head, it's the cervical spine. Then we've got the mid spine, the thoracic spine, where the rib cage is kind of plugged in, and the lower back is the lumbar spine. So just do a couple of more movements, warming up kind of the whole body, releasing any creases. And in that movement here, where your head goes from side to side, it brings softness into the body. And coming back to that theme of that hunched shoulder and even using mobile phones, so being completely flat on the floor, it's a nice way. It's really healthy for the spine. You can maybe even hold the phone here. So that's the optimal position where your neck is in a neutral position. Probably then just your arm needs a little bit more training for the muscles. So that posture doesn't put any strain on your neck, on your head. Lovely. So from here, bring that rocking to stillness, and just take a moment to notice. So perhaps there's a bit of a tingling, a little bit of a sensation in your feet, maybe in your neck, in your spine. So we're moving gently into bridge posture. So bridge posture stretches the front, the chest muscles, and also strengthens the back of your or the upper back. So arms alongside the body, and focus this time more on that kind of that pressure you put into your arms. So as you lift your shoulders up, use your arms to perhaps apply a little bit more pressure. And the more you press your arms into the earth as you lift your hips, the more you may feel a sensation for your neck, for your chest, and slowly lower down. So perhaps visualize your arms are taking more of that support than your feet. So it's the same posture we are probably we have done for a few times, but the moment you actually change your awareness, you change where you focus your attention, it changes also the muscles that are going to be engaged. So continue for a few more rounds, moving your pelvis up and down, pressing the palms into the earth, pressing the shoulders down, and slowly release. So your feet almost feel like they're just second in line here. So use those arms, pressing the shoulders down, the palms, your forearms down, and then rolling the spine up and down. So take the last bridge posture here. So everything is quite dynamic. If you wish to hold for a little bit longer, hold perhaps for 1 or 2 breaths.
always make sure that you look up towards the ceiling, so your neck is not looking, or your gaze is not going to the left and to the right. And exhale, slowly bring the hips down, hug your knees into your chest, and just softening here. Connecting to your breath, connecting to perhaps any sensations in your shoulder, around your upper back, neck area. So just tuning in here. And begin to bring the left foot down. Please hold on, maybe with both hands to your right knee, your right shin, and have a gentle squeeze on the exhale of your knee towards your chest. Inhale, release that leg away from you. Exhale, hug your knee closer towards your chest. So a couple of rounds here as we are stretching through the back line of the body. So the muscles on the front line, from the neck all the way towards the pelvis and even down towards your feet, as well as the muscles on your back, so around your neck, upper back, mid back, lower back, calves. If they're tight, they pull on the spine and they pull the whole structure a little bit out of kilter. So, and then the head always tries to compensate, because we need to be balanced, we need to be upright in space. So last, hug here of your knee towards your chest, hold here for a few breaths. We are stretching through the back line of the body. Include some ankle circles here as well for the right foot. So we're kind of doubling up here, 2 and 1. And then bring your foot down. Take a moment to notice right side versus left side. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. So it might feel a little bit strange to start with. Begin with a slight squeeze on the exhale. Inhale, release your leg away, still holding onto your left knee, left shin. Exhale, gentle squeeze. Inhale, release. So a few more rounds here, warming up for the left side of your body. Also mobilizing the hips in a very gentle way. Good. And the next time you bring your knee towards your chest on the exhale, hold onto that knee, let it kind of settle here. And then begin to circle for the left ankle. Good. And then bring that circling back to stillness. Bring that left foot down as well. Take 3 deep breaths, inhaling through your nose, exhaling, this time side out. Twice more, inhale through your nose. Exhale, side out, let it go. Last one, inhaling. Exhaling. From here, roll over to your right side and come into any seated position, please. So you can use the blanket and also pop it perhaps underneath your sitting bones, underneath your pelvis. So a couple of options here to sit either cross-legged or feet out in front of you, or perhaps even the soles of your feet together, depending on hips here as well. So from here, just moving into some cat and cow, so rounding your spine, bring your chin towards your chest, and then lifting yourself forward, coming up into a very kind of long upright position, chin towards your chest as you roll back, and then lengthening, drawing the shoulders back, lifting through the chest. Lovely. Couple of rounds here. Seated cat and cows. Releasing, and then with a little bit of more strength, more effort, coming forward and lengthening through the chest, stretching through the chest. Good. So do one more Here, drawing the navel in, chin towards your chest, letting the shoulders release, and then inhale, come forward. So if you have your feet, if you're sitting in a cross-legged position, please, or in any other position, bring the soles of your feet out in front of you. So perhaps wiggling here. And so again, focus emphasis on posture. So allow yourself to move, to sit up a little bit more upright. So you may hold onto your knees, to your shins, to your calves, and then just hold yourself here more upright, really lengthen. Chin about parallel to the chest, to the floor. So, and just notice the difference it makes to breathing, just sitting up a little bit more upright, inhaling through your nose and exhaling out through your nose or through your mouth. So use your arms to really tilt the pelvis forward, and then observe, where does it feel uncomfortable? Is the lower back maybe playing up a little bit? Is your upper back niggly? So it gives you an indication where muscles perhaps tend to be a little bit weak, perhaps a little bit tight. And then almost collapse back into kind of a natural posture. So just to feel the difference in terms of breathing. So from here, allow yourself to wiggle around a little bit. So you can bring one hand down. So just perhaps even bring your arm up and over, stretching through the side body. And keep it a side body stretch. So notice if there's a tendency, maybe as if the arms tilting forward. So keep yourself almost in line, as if you're doing that warm up or that movement stuck in between two panes of glass. It sounds a bit extreme, but it might be the best visualization to focus on that side stretch. Sometimes the shoulder draws forward, sometimes the shoulder draws back. So keep that movement quite in one kind of pain. Good. So in sitting here with just the soles of your feet together, begins to release the hips also very gently. So the next time you swing your arms to one side, stay for a little bit longer. Let that top arm just hover. Again, bring your awareness whether you're kind of rounding your back, then drawing the shoulders, so as if the shoulders are stacked on top of each other. One more breath here, into the side ribs, and then changing positions. Opposite arm up and over. Let the arm just hover here. Really direct the breath, send the breath into the sides of your ribs. And then with your next inhale, big arm circle coming back to center. Keep your legs as they are. If it feels comfortable, bring your hands behind you, tripod fingers or spider fingers, and roll the shoulders back as you lift the chest forward. Keep your chin parallel to the floor and gently bring the chin towards the chest as well. So sorry, from parallel literally to chin towards your chest. And let the breath move through your body. How does it feel having the shoulders drawn back and the chest more stretched? One more breath. And then slowly release. So bring your feet into any position. You can stay seated like this. You can stay cross-legged out to the side. So we're focusing on some shoulder rolls. So wherever your feet are. So and inhale, reach up. Exhale, slowly let the shoulders roll down. Good. And I intentionally pay more awareness or pay more attention as the shoulders draw back, because that's more of that movement we need to offset that slouching. So the moment we bring the shoulders forward, it almost feels like we are getting more and more into a collapsed posture. So drawing the shoulders up and back is a nice way to re-educate the muscles. 2 more shoulder circles here. Good. And then just let them flop out. Any movement through your neck, through your head. So
That's always that kind of the test how much your shoulders and how much the neck and shoulder muscles are actually linked to each other. So easy, gentle on your neck. So whether it's movement, whether it's a tilt, so explore here. And even though there might be just slight nuances, notice left side, is it more maybe restricted than the right side? So it could be just a very tiny difference, but it's that awareness you bring into your body. Lovely. Cool. From here, switch onto all fours. You can use the blanket, bring it underneath your knees if you wish. So we're not going to be here for too long. Hands underneath your shoulders, and just to bring movement into the body. Use your upper body, your arms in a way where you explore, so you can hover around here a little bit like a spider. You can shift the bottom back towards child's pose. So find those areas that need a little bit more TLC this morning. So maybe the spine wants to move a certain way. Maybe you want to look over your right shoulder, look over your left shoulder. So keep it in a way quite balanced, but also in a way that where you notice, oh, here's something that feels a little bit tight, a little bit restricted. It's nice to just move here, to have that opportunity. Lovely. From here, finding that movement, finding that stillness back in tabletop. So curling your toes under, we're lifting up into downward dog. Any movement again, stretching out your calves, wiggling your bottom, shaking out your neck, your head. So stretch out here, make the most of it. And pay attention to actually the weight of your head, which we probably generally don't notice. So look towards your feet, towards your shins and calves. That's the way to really release the neck muscles. So how heavy is that head? It really is those 5 kilograms, like a bowling ball. And walk your hands towards your feet. Have the feet a little wider. And then slowly curl up, roll up to standing, really heavy arms. Have a soft bend in your knees so you're not hanging in your spine as you uncurl and roll. Shoulders, neck, head. Good. So notice posture. So the moment we draw the shoulders back, we are taller, we can breathe easier. So a couple of more kind of downward dogs, up and down. So drawing the chin towards your chest, opposite action, literally rounding the upper back, mid back, lower back, sliding down, bring your hands onto the floor, move into that triangular shape. So you can bend one knee at a time, walking your dog. You can move, depending on energy levels, maybe lift one leg up. So just do whatever your body feels like doing on this Wednesday morning. Maybe you don't feel like doing a lot, then just take a moment to focus on your breath. One more breath in through your nose, exhaling. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Slowly uncurl. Visualize how you're unrolling your spine, knees bend, and then slowly vertical, rolling up. Shoulders, neck, head. Good. Up circling through the wrist, maybe shaking your arms out. So one more movement here. We end up back standing. If you feel you have no energy, please maybe do a couple of, maybe just roll up and down without going into downward dog. So we come back into the same posture here. So chin towards your chest, shoulders roll forward, upper back, mid back, lower back. Oh, sliding down, hands onto the floor, walking into downward dog. Moving, any movement, maybe crisscrossing your legs, zigzagging your legs. So you're getting a bit of a stretch as well. If you're in downward dog, do that lion breath, please. If you're hanging in forward fold as well, do that lion breath. Inhaling through your nose, exhale.
Stick your tongue out. Inhale through your nose, one more line breath, exhale. Sticking that tongue out. And walk your hands back towards your feet. And slowly, with bent knees, roll up, uncurl, vertebra by vertebra. So, good. So bring some movement into the whole body while bring that awareness into the shoulders, into the neck, into the head. So from the back of your mat, please step forward with your right foot, having both feet forward, bending through the front knee. So keep the back heel, the left heel glued towards the earth, please. So you're tilting, so leaning forwards and backwards. There might be a different stance. So if it feels uncomfortable, I would take the foot further in, or maybe if you want to deepen the stretch, bring the foot further back. Lovely. So this might be more sensation on your left hip. It might be more of a sensation on your left calf. So whatever feels most appropriate. So the moment you have both legs straight, bring both hands behind your back. So a couple of options here. You can hold on to your hands, to your wrists, forearms. Maybe make a fist and draw the fist towards the earth. So it's depending on the shoulders as well, whatever feels accessible. So we are having the arms behind our back, so the chest lifts, the shoulders draw back. And begin to bend your front knee. So lifting the shoulders. And notice if you're leaning forward. So then bring that upper body up, kind of over the center of your body. So breathing here into the front body. So the moment you're leaning forward, we are literally just balancing here in that posture. So drawing that awareness into the chest, into the shoulders. One more breath. And then release your arms. Step forward. Good. Maybe shake out those legs. So we're creating strength for the legs, but also that stretch through the back body. Second side, please. Have your left foot forward, your right foot back. So both feet point in the same direction. So that helps with the setup of your hips. And bend your front knee. So then notice if your knee is going in. So keep the knee pointing forward over your second or third toe. So there might be tissue that is a little weak because we might have done certain moves always a certain way. So avoid having the knee collapsing in, having the knee facing over your foot. So stretching to the right hip flexor, also where the psoas is, and through the right calf. Then find that stillness in that posture. Bring your arms behind your back. You can decide again, similar arm posture. Or this time, perhaps just a slightly different. If you have your hands holding here, change the position. So change how you hold your arms. So if you're making a fist, just bring the opposite thumb this time on top. So even that makes a difference wherever you're settling. And then bring it awareness into your breath. So the shoulders draw back, the chest lifts. So rooting through your feet. Holding that posture here for another 2 breaths. So the arms really draw back, re-educating those muscles. Lovely. And then release your arms. Step forward. And begin to just release any tension. So keep your arms about as high as your rib cage or perhaps even as your shoulders. So the arms can be a little bit bent. So you use almost the traction of the elbow to get into, maybe as if you just give that, you just move through those tissues that support the spine.
And that in itself also frees up some breathing muscles that may be tight. So those muscles around the rib cage. Good. So heavy arms. And then slowly let those arms come back to neutral. So we're working with some strengthening practices for the neck, for your head. So please bring your hands behind your back, make a interlace your hands. So notice if you're drawing the head forward, so keeping the head up, draw the elbows back, and then press your head into your palms and breathing here. So we are strengthening the head. We are strengthening also the neck muscles here. And then release. Even just give your arms a bit of a shake. So we're doing it twice more. Bring your hands behind your head. Draw the elbows out to the sides, even back. Head presses into your palms. Breathe. Notice what's happening in your shoulders, in the upper body. And then release. Give them a bit of a shake, any movement. Good. So it helps supporting that good posture. One more time, hands behind you at the back of your head. So chin about parallel to the floor. Draw the elbows back. Shift your head or press your head into your hands. Your hands press into your, press against your head. Good. Breathe. And then soften. Whew. Hard work. So going exactly the opposite side. Make a fist, please, and bring your fist against your forehead, almost where the third eye is. So same movement here. You're pressing your head into your fist. The fist presses against your head. And continue to breathe as normally as possible. And then soften. You can change fists as well, so you can use the left or the right hand alternately. So two more times here as well. So get ready. Head always remains parallel, and then press your head forward and your fist against your head. Breathe. And then soften. So last one here. So you can change fists again if you wish. So pressing your head against your fist against your head, breathe. And then soften. Maybe even stick your tongue out. Maybe that lion breath. That also loosens up the jaw muscles. That if they're tight, also it adds to the whole muscles being tight around your neck head area. So once more, make a fist, please. We use the flat bit of our fists. So now we're not punching ourselves. So again, place the fist around that jaw joint. So jaw joint is when you just pretend you're talking, where you feel there's that connection, there's a bit of movement going on. So keep your head straight. So chin again parallel, and then press as if you want to turn. No, as if you want to turn your head. So pressing into your hand, into your fist, and your fist presses against your jaw. So you remain in the same posture. Release. So any movement. So the same side again, please. Twice more. Make a fist. And then apply a slight equal pressure. And soften. Good. Last one here. One more on that right side or on the left side, whichever side you're doing. Set yourself up. Gentle pressure.
and then soften. Ooh, so there's only one more side to go. Opposite side, 3 times if it feels okay. So again, locate your jaw, keep your head parallel, posture upright, and then apply those opposite forces. And release. One deep breath in between, twice more. So let's get yourself set up. You can open your jaw very slightly, so maybe just have a bit of a gap. And then soften. Last one here. Press your fist against that jaw again. You can have a bit of a gap. And then pressing here. Opposite forces. And then release. Just any movement, even through your neck, shoulders, shaking out your arms. Bring the arms back into the equation. Big inhale, arms out to the sides. Reaching up, exhaling. Bring your hands into your heart center. Twice more, arms up. Exhale. Let your hands float down. Last one here. Shoulders drop back, reaching up. And softening. Good. Just settle a moment here, maybe even with your hands resting against your breastbone, your chest. Notice how the jaw, your head, your shoulders feel. Good. So, and slowly release your hands, coming to the back of your mat, moving through downward dog onto our belly. So you can slide down, bring your hands down, maybe a little bit of a wiggle through your downward dog, a bit of a shake of your neck, your head. And then bring your knees down and onto your stomach, onto your front rib, coming into Sphinx posture. So with your arms, with your forearms out, parallel to each other. So the angle, so your elbow can be underneath your shoulder or a little bit further forward. So bring your awareness into the upper back. So drawing the shoulder blades together and then pressing into your arms as if you're lifting up a little bit higher. So squeezing the shoulder blades together, you're almost moving closer towards the earth. And then releasing the shoulder blades, coming into Sphinx pose again. So as if you draw your shoulder blades towards your spine, gently squeeze, so you tend to move closer to the floor and pressing, lifting out of your shoulder blades almost. So one more breath. And soften, bring your hands down, maybe make a cushion, rest your forehead. So we're staying here for 5 breaths. Keep that literally like a child's pose, just here, stretching out on your front. Stay for a couple of breaths. You can also support your forehead with 2 fists, so there's a bit more space between for you to breathe. Okay. And then bring your arms alongside your body. Your palms face each other. Your forehead, if that feels okay, rests on the floor. So you're lengthening through the neck already here. So keeping your feet on the floor and your thumbs literally just rest here. Just the thumb rest here. Your hands are quite engaged. Your arms are quite engaged. On the inhale, lift up your upper body, your chest. Lift your hands off the floor as well. Draw your hands towards your feet. And then release, one ear comes down towards the floor. So we are kind of giving our neck a gentle stretch while we are strengthening the back body. Inhale, lift your upper body up again. Your hands reach back, shoulder blades draw together. Look down towards your mat so we are not overstretching the neck. Exhale, the opposite ear comes down. Inhale, lift up again. Rising as if you want to reach back towards your legs, towards your feet. Exhale, opposite ear comes down. So the last movement here, lifting up. Keep your spine long as you reach your shoulders back, you reach your arms back. And then bring the second ear down, palms rest as well. Give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. So wiggling through your bottom, through your hips. And from here, just roll onto your back, please. So is it in a way to straighten that spine out again and hug your knees into your chest. So literally child's pose on your back. So no need to hold on to any specific area, just that action of maybe letting your knees just rock from side to side. Connecting back to your breath. Notice if your neck is overstretching, so bring your chin just a little closer towards your rib cage without lifting your neck and without lifting your head. So it's just that action of drawing the chin a little closer. So bring your left foot down, extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. You can hold onto the back of your right thigh if you wish. And just resting here, just breathing into your hamstrings. Any sensation, any tension, release it through the exhale. Make it perhaps twice as long as your inhale. Softening here. Perhaps even wiggle your upper and your lower jaw. Maybe stick your tongue out again. Making a funny, scary face. Change sides, bring your right foot down and extend your left leg up. So just resting here, softening. And connecting to your breath. Observe if you're holding your breath. So then slowly bring your left foot down as well. Take your feet once more to the outside edges of your mat and gently, almost with minimal pace, speed, windscreen wipe your legs from side to side. Let your head go in the opposite direction. So more of a stretch for your neck. Do it almost very mindful. And even notice the weight of your head. As you rock, you roll your head from side to side. So really just follow all the different areas, the back of your head touches. And with your next rocking, bring it to stillness and either stretch out on your back or have your knees, keep your knees bent. Perhaps pop a blanket underneath your knees, underneath your thighs. Maybe roll over to one side. Maybe you prefer seated, so just any movement to settle. So tuning into your body, tuning into your breath. Eyes can be closed or gentle gaze. Bring that heaviness, but also softness at the same time into your body. Perhaps notice again how heavy your head can feel. And how nice it actually is to be completely stretched out on the floor, at least letting the spine come into its natural curves, into the neutral position, with the head properly supported. Letting your feet, your ankles, your shin and calves release any remaining tension. Softening your knees and the backs of your knees. Releasing your thighs, backs of your thighs, abdominals. Soften your rib cage and your heart center. Letting your upper back, the backs of your shoulders melt into the earth. Notice if you might be still holding tension in that area. Softening the upper arms, your elbows, forearms, wrists, and fingers. Bring softness into your neck, sides of your neck, unclenching your teeth, softening the upper and your lower jaw, releasing the root of your tongue. Soften your cheeks, your ears, your eyes. Release any holding, any tension in between your eyebrows, your forehead, and top of your head. Let the breath flow freely through the whole body. There are certain areas that require a little bit more attention, awareness, TLC, then direct the breath visually into those areas.
With every exhale, see if you can relax the body a tiny bit more. The breath move quietly through the whole body. And let the mind find a little bit of stillness. Slowly bring deeper breaths back into your body. Awareness into your fingertips, bring movement into your fingers, your toes, your hands, your feet. Perhaps rock your head, your neck from side to side, so a soft awakening. Maybe even stretch your arms over your head, stretching from fingertips to toes. And whenever you're ready, hug your knees into your chest. And then rock over or roll over to one side. And find your way into any seated position. So as you come into any seated position, also bring your awareness again to posture. So shoulders draw back, chest lifts. Head also moves just gently back. Then bring your arms up overhead. Deep breath and exhale. Hands back towards your heart center. For harmony, balance, health. Namaste. Thank you for joining.